Glenys first noticed some changes in my behaviour and my communication and my driving when I was in my early 50s. They were very subtle changes, but as time went on they were becoming more concerning. We went to a doctor and the doctor diagnosed me as having stress, and at that point in time I could understand why that diagnosis was made, because I was a school principal and most people would acknowledge the fact that being a school principal is a very stressful job. However, it took us 2 years from that point in time to get a diagnosis of dementia. I had to give up work when I was 57. I could no longer do the sorts of tasks that were associated with being a school principal. I found difficulty organising my school day, planning things, organising things. About 6 years post-diagnosis I wasn't in a very good place. I in fact became depressed, and ordinarily I wasn't a depressive person, but yes, I became depressed because of not having any answers to what was happening. Well, I got to know Aurora through Kate Hawkins, who at the time was working for Alzheimer's Australia Queensland. And Kate happened to say to me that Aurora Adventures were organising an adventure cycle challenge through Cambodia, Vietnam, and she thought it was just the right thing for me at the time. Well, what happened after that was that I went to a fundraising event that was held by Alzheimer's Australia Queensland. It was called Bring It to the Table. And at that event I met people like Ida Buttress, and I met Mary Smith from Aurora Adventures. And I had a conversation, I can still remember having a conversation with Mary and one of her colleagues. They had a table established at the event, and they were advertising this Vietnam-Cambodia cycle challenge, trying to encourage people to get involved.
That opportunity led to the opportunity of that night when we met Ida Buttrose and Mary Smith from Aurora Adventures. And John felt valued and got back his self-esteem, and I got John back.
Someone having enough confidence in me and me feeling valued was a turning point in my attitude towards my diagnosis of dementia. From my own personal experience, whenever I've done one of these challenges, there's always been very supportive people with you. You've got to remember that the people who are actually involved in these challenges with you are like-minded, so they have their doubts as well. And I think human nature is that if you've got a group of people who are like-minded and have a common goal, they unite in their support for each other. Putting dementia aside, I think exercise is good for anything, for any medical condition. But the training was very important for me because I wanted to be prepared, because I knew how difficult it was going to be. 562 k's through a country like Vietnam, Cambodia, a country that I've never been to before. So I really did as much as I could to prepare myself for the challenge. There's a lot of satisfaction from giving back into the community, and that's what fundraising does. It gives you a sense of achievement. It gives you a good warm fuzzy feeling. I can't overstate, the need to live a life of purpose. And even though it sounds simple, it's hard. It's difficult for a lot of people. We do have a lot of people out there in the community that, because of certain medical conditions, can't do some of the things that others can. I think probably the most important thing to be able to live a life of purpose is to have support. You need support. You can't do it alone.
When you're on a charity challenge, you're there for a different reason. As I said, it's something to do with who you find out about yourself. There's that depth of that, and I don't think you'd be able to capture that just at a isolated fundraising thing here in where you live. It's very hard to find the words to explain the bond of the moment and of the opportunities and of the whole experience that happens. But everyone's there with a similar purpose and goal. and mindful of what the underlying charity and the cause is, again brings everyone together.